Everybody, welcome back to Nutshell Living. Here I'm at my faux fireplace. A few months ago, if you're a follower of the channel, I redid the back of my faux fireplace with wood painter sticks to create a herringbone design, because herringbone designs create an optical illusion, so that if you're following the width of a V, it can actually make a small space appear wider. And that's what I kind of wanted to do for my faux fireplace. And I also liked having a little bit of that texture here. And when I put in this faux fireplace backing, which I really love, I was kind of rushed in finding the correct andirons for this fireplace. And I just painted some cheap, inexpensive metal bookends and painted them brass, and then called it a day. I didn't have any proper andirons to hold my birch logs. I knew that further down the line, as I shop the vintage shops, that I would find something that I really liked. And in fact, I did. I went on Etsy.com and I found these old bookends. It looks like they were oak leaves, and I really liked them, except for one of the pair had a pretty bad nick on the top where part of the leaf was missing. When I ordered them, I thought, okay, maybe I can figure out a way to repair that with clay or something. And then when I received them, there were a lot more nicks and a lot more chips to repair. If you're a vintage collector like I am, when you go to the flea markets, you might pass on something like this bookend because there's a big chunk missing. I know I have, until I realized that there's something called Milliput. And Milliput is a resin, kind of like an epoxy resin clay. And when you buy it, it comes in 2 different clay tubes, and you're supposed to mix equal parts of this one to equal parts of the one in the clear wrapper. And together, when you mix them together in your hand, then you can use them to sculpt any repairs that you need on ceramics, porcelain, and in this case, it's kind of like a metal. So you basically take equal parts of that clay, of that resin clay, and you mix it together. And you only need a little bit depending on your work surface. And I don't know if you can see this nick, maybe from the side. Okay, so here is the nick that I want to repair. And you kind of just I'm basing the shape on the leaves around this one. And I'm bringing part of the clay, if you can see back here, I'm bringing part of the clay back here so that sort of secures the clay. But I'm making it as thin as I can. You are gonna, after this dries, you are gonna sand the Milliput clay once it dries hard. So still feel like there's maybe too much here. A little bit of a damp cloth. I want to clean up this area here and this area here. So we'll let this dry. I worked on this one, which is its pair. So this one had a lot of nicks. It's been about 24 hours and wow, the Milliput is rock hard. Now when I had to do this over again because apparently I didn't mix the right proportions of the 2 epoxy clays and it was not hardening. So they said that it should start hardening between 3 and 4 hours, and if that's not happening, to start again. And so I started again and I added a little bit more clay hardener. So the clay that's in the blue wrapper is the hardener. So I added just a little bit more of this to my mix, and now it dried rock hard. So now I'm going to start sanding. I'm going to start with a 600 grade sandpaper and just a little piece. And I'm not going to sand too much because I've never worked with this before. And just want to sand so that there's no line between the clay and the brass. So I've sanded it down and it feels very smooth. It doesn't look like it because it still looks white, but I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but you can't even tell where the clay starts or stops. I'm going to now apply what is called gilding size or glue. We're going to put a thin layer of the sizing on these bookends and then let it get to a tacky stage, which takes between 15 and 20 minutes. Then I'll be able to apply the gold gilding sheets. Now, the great thing about it is that it will remain tacky. It says it will remain tacky up to 24 to 36 hours. So that's fantastic news for me because I'm always going back and forth to and from projects. The sizing has become a little tacky, and now it's going to be ready to cover it with some of my imitation gold leaf. And imitation gold leaf is very hard to deal with your hands. It just is so light and fragile. I still have to work on adding a little sizing down here and adding a little sizing on this side. For some reason, it just doesn't feel tacky at all. So I'm going to add glue down there. We still have to work on it, but I think that the repair looks pretty good. What do you guys think? I'm going to put a little bit more sizing glue on it, but I'm careful not to overlap with the gold that's already there. I've done that before and it kind of leaves a brown stain. It's feeling a little bit tacky. I hope it's enough. Okay. So there you go. Okay, my bookends are done. I think they look pretty good. Pretty good repair. And then here's the other one. So we're gonna put them in my faux fireplace, and then I can show you the final look. These were sprayed with a clear sealant and that will protect any tarnishing, because this is imitation gold, it's not real gold, so it might tarnish a little bit. But I think the main thing was the fact that there was a big gash on top, a big chip on several of the leaves, and I think they look pretty good. And it kind of changes the way I'm thinking about shopping for vintage. Here's to Milliput. Give it a try in your home. I'll see you next time on Nutshell Living. Bye.